Hello there. I'll do a little review of the terrain I used for session 27, Castles and Crusades campaign. We had two combat encounters. The first one was with the Harpy. If you watch the recap, they had a random encounter with a Harpy. We did that one Theater of the Mind and didn't have a board for it. It wasn't a very big encounter, so just something that came up while they were camping. This one here was the main combat encounter of the game. And so starting with this terrain, the bases are just MDF boards that I flocked. You guys have seen these and I've probably talked about them. If you have any questions, fire away. They're both double-sided. This one here I put a little bit of a road on because for our session I needed a road. So I've gotten a million miles out of that board there. Kind of shows it a little bit. It was a piece of scrap I've had kicking around for years. Been painted in a bunch of different ways, so it's just 2-inch insulation foam. This rock outcropping, this might be the first appearance of this piece here. It's a Reaper Pathfinder Goblin. And another one. I got a bunch of these guys. I got a bunch of the WizKids ones that I need to finish. They're kind of one of those things that I have a lot of, but they're not really all that fun to paint, so they're kind of like half done. So this piece here, this is on an MDF board. I like to use MDF. It adds an extra step cutting it and beveling it. I just don't feel, and I know people that do use like foam for bases. I just don't want to have the risk of warping, so I use this. These rocks, these are plaster, and they were cast from, I want to say I made these molds for these rocks. I think I did. I don't think these are the Woodland Scenic ones. No, I made these. Whoops, it was super easy to build. I made them out of crumpled up aluminum foil. I learned that on the Terrain Tutor YouTube channel. And I do that when I need a lot of rocks. I have some really great molds for rocks by Woodland Scenics that do a great job, but and they're not very expensive, but I only have a few of them. So when I need a lot of rocks, if I'm using plaster, I will make one of those, or sometimes make a couple of those molds, and I can get a few uses out of them. They don't cost anything except some aluminum foil, and they work real good. So yeah, that was this piece here, and so I don't think I've used that before, but that worked well. And so we got this. That's a Dwarven Forge Tower. I have more of that. I think it's not the first time I've used it, but it hasn't been used a lot. And the reason I use this is I have some other options for towers, and I was messing around with this stuff before the game, so it was already on the table, only taller, and I just decided to go with that. And they never actually made it inside the tower, so it didn't really matter. It was more of just a dressing piece. This piece here, like I said, a lot of these you've probably seen before, but this is a home-made little rocky hill that I made. It's on MDF. The rock in this case, I actually used tree bark that I harvested locally, and no, I didn't bake it and do all sorts of crazy things to it. I've used that stuff for years, and I've just never ever seen the sense in it. Like, people go nuts over making sure it's baked and disinfected and all that stuff. I just scrape the loose stuff off it, make sure it's clean. And I figure the 3 to 4 layers of paint and glue and varnish on top of it, if anything gets out of it from there, which it's never done, I've never even had it happen, they deserve to get out. So never been a problem. Just seems like a lot of extra work for nothing. These, again, my trees. Like I said, this is one of my favorite pieces I've made. I don't know, just kind of like the looks of that one, so I use it whenever I can. This actually marked the entrance into the Thornwood Forest, which the party definitely didn't get to experience. They didn't make it that far past this. So we got, same miniatures. We got the Sprawl miniature. This is my painted version of Sprawl. Matt has one of his own that he did a really good job on. That's a Cybor miniatures. They make some great dwarves and other miniatures, but I really like their dwarves. This is my version of Ronan. This was the first version of him. And I don't remember, this is a multi-part kit, Frostgrave or something like that, that I kit bashed together for Ronan when he first started using that. Steve started playing him. I like the little, because he has a farmer background, the hat really kind of fit. He doesn't look that way now in game, like he's very different. Got some Reaper Bugbears here. I've been working on these guys. This guy here has a different club. These are Bones models, and they're Bones 1. And I like Bones, especially the newer Bones is really good. The older stuff is hit or miss. These Bugbears are really cool, but this weapon was a club, but it was just so bent that I didn't feel like messing around with it. I know there's ways to fix it. I've done it. I just didn't feel like doing it. And so I chopped it off and put a different one on. Bones are great for modifying like that. This is a more current Bones miniature. Bugbear. I don't know if this is, I think this is Bones Black, and that material is way better than the original Bones material. This is actually a really cool sculpt that I did not have to mess around with. Did no assembly. I don't think this had any assembly, which is great because I hate assembling miniatures. And whoops, stand up, drunk. This is an old Bones Bugbear. This is a metal miniature. Reaper is one of the few companies I get miniatures from that still use metal, which I don't mind metal. It's definitely got some heft to it, but that's a cool miniature. All these were painted by me. Kind of fast paint jobs on the Bugbears. I just wanted to get them done. Riska, rest in peace, a Cyborg miniature. It's the one I painted up for Riska. So if you didn't watch the recap, which you should watch the recap before you watch the terrain videos, Riska died in this session, and with no real option of being brought back, which is too bad. But we actually already ordered the new miniature for Thad's new character, and I look forward to that coming. It's going to need some modification, but it'll be fun. This is a 3D print of a Bugbear. This was my elite Bugbear boss, and he worked well. These are really great prints. I think the Etsy shop, I've ordered from a bunch of times, and if I butcher the name or mess it up, I apologize. I think it's Tabletop Craftsman is who I get them from. And if anybody wants to know, just leave a comment, and I can confirm that. But they do an awesome job printing. I bought a bunch of miniatures off them. I have a whole bunch over in my painting area that I just finished for a commission. Really good miniatures, great prints. This is the miniature I use to represent Cosmo when I'm doing the videos. Chris, who plays Cosmo, the Halfling Rogue, he has his own miniature that he painted, which is cool. Matt and Chris are painters. Steve's a painter as well. So they have their own miniatures for their characters, which is great. They're all good painters. And but I don't mind. I like to have the party anyway. So this is an old Reaper metal. Jesus, I painted that back in 2005. Wow. Yeah, so he's been around for a while. I just use him as that. As for Cosmo, until I find something that fits him better. But yeah, that's a terrain. They didn't get to this, so this is I'm gonna leave this covered. But this was a build I put together because I thought this was going to be a much smaller encounter, and then we were pressed for time, so we had no chance to get to this. Although, and I forgot this in the recap, I think, Cosmo found the entrance to this place when he fled the tower. He came across the Bugbears. It's a tome entrance, and Cosmo found it. He could tell that the Bugbears and Goblins had been going there, but he didn't waste any time. He had a 3-day journey on foot back to Arden, so he didn't bother to go in there. But maybe in the future, we'll see. The game's kind of in upheaval right now in a good way, because we have 2 characters with their fates undetermined and another one that's clearly dead. So we have a lot of stuff going on. Running a session tomorrow. Like I said in the recap, we're going to have a Barry and Lork session. So, and I probably ought to put some terrain together for that. So I'll get on that. But yeah, so just a terrain for the session, 27th session. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to ask and leave them. Thank you.